Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Two Wheels Paradise. This is Meshak. As usual, this is your home of motorcycle content. And I want to take this chance, first of all, to apologize for not having a video for the last 2 weeks. I got overwhelmed by a lot of stuff in life and I wasn't able to produce videos. And I usually don't like just to cover anything. I take my time to produce quality videos for you because I want to educate you as much as I want to entertain you. Welcome back to the channel. If you have not subscribed, please give me that gift of hitting the subscribe button. Remember to turn on the bell icon for notification, and today we are talking about few things that I love about this motorcycle, the VOGE RALLY 300.
Hi guys, this is Paul from Power Bikes, and over here we have the Rally 300cc worth 585,000 Kenyan shillings. But as for now, we have an offer. You'll save 15,000 Kenyan shillings when you get this bike by the date of 30th, the month of June. So come pick your bike. You'll get at the price of 570,000 Kenyan shillings, save 15,000 Kenyan shillings by the end of this month.
To begin with, this is a very light motorcycle, very light as you can see. Being an off-road oriented motorcycle, the Rally 300 is a light bike and also not so huge. It's a very slim bike. This is a bike that you're going to have a lot of fun when it comes to riding off-road. VOGE company has made sure that they are making a motorcycle that you can take anywhere you want without the challenges of having too much weight under your belt. Very huge bike, very tall bike. As you can see, I am less than 6 feet just by like 2 inches, and for me this motorcycle is not a challenge at all to ride. Looking at it from far, you can tell it is a tall bike, but when you sit on it, the suspension is so responsive that it goes down to allow you have a very comfortable footing. Look at it. The handlebars are not so wide. Yeah, it's not so wide. So it is not going to be a challenge to maneuver this bike even in tight traffic. This bike is made both for highways and off-road, but it has more orientation towards the off-road than the highway. However, looking at this, being a 300cc, it has enough power to get you to highway speeds. So for you to ride from home to wherever you want to go to fight those off-road fun, yeah, you can just have some highway fun. It is a motorcycle that is going to serve you properly. It is not so high, although you can see where my hands are, telling you if you are quite a short person, it is going to be a challenge. But if you have a height close to mine, slightly less than 6 feet, you're going to have a lot of fun with this bike. Look at it. The suspension is so responsive. And something else that I love about this bike is that it comes with a windshield, stock windshield. And this windshield is put in some angle that it is deflecting a lot of wind away from your head. Remember, when you're riding on the highway at speeds above 100 kilometers an hour, you tend to get a very strong wind coming to your chest. So having that grass in front of you is some nice stuff. Look at the ground clearance. This bike is high. It is not so tall, but it has high ground clearance. The company has made sure that they have put stuff together to create enough room under the engine for off-road riding. Remember, you don't want to have an off-road bike that has the risk of getting cracked by rocks when you're riding through maram, crossing rivers, and all this is done through some very responsive suspension. You see that gap? It's a tall suspension and also very responsive, meaning depending on the weight of the rider, the bike goes down. Yeah, it goes down depending on the weight of the rider. The ground clearance is so high, and also this bike comes with crash guards, and also the suspension is guarded. Look at this. They have made sure that the suspension is guarded from flying pebbles, rocks, and stuff like that. Remember, when you're riding off-road, and especially with a group of other riders, there is a risk of flying rocks, especially if you are riding fast. So having some suspension guard comes in handy. It is going to protect your suspension and make sure that you're not going to have some extra cost of changing your shocks, trying to service those seals all over the place, leaking suspension. And remember, for a motorcycle with disc brakes, it is very dangerous to have the front shocks leaking, especially if you are using the inverted shocks like the one we have in Rally 300, because if they start to leak, they leak the oil onto the brake disc, meaning especially if the left hard side suspension is leaking, you will not have front brakes, which now becomes a disaster. It becomes a disaster if the front shocks are leaking. So you have to be very careful not to have leaking shocks. And for you to be careful, that means you need to have some guard. Look at this. The rear wheel is 18 inch. 18 inch. Remember, today we are talking about the things that I love about the VOGE Rally 300. The rear wheel is 18 inch, and the tires that are coming stock are some nice off-road tires. It is also spoke wheels. This bike is telling you straight, take me to the jungle. Take me to the jungle. Look at how beautiful the rim is. And it is a very, very strong rim. Remember, this bike is coming from a trusted company, the Lonsin. These are people who are making parts for even brands like BMW. So they know what they are doing. The front wheel is 21 inch. So the combination of a very responsive suspension, 18 inch rear wheel, 21 inch front wheel gives you some pretty nice off-road experience, combined with some high ground clearance to protect your engine from rocks. However, if you get a chance of installing some engine guard from under there, please go ahead and do it. Whatever you can be able to add to guard your engine, please do so, because off-road bikes have a tendency of hitting rocks. The other thing I love about this bike is that it comes stock with hard guards. Those things, those plastic things you see there are very, very important. Very, very important. When you're riding off-road, you have very high chances of dropping your bike. You see, it also have crash guards for the engine and the body, the plastic. This bike is made in a way that you do not need to add accessories when you buy it from the shop. Coming stock with windshield, hard guards, engine guards, this bike is coming ready for you to go off-road. It is coming ready for you to go off-road. There is very, very little you're going to add from here. A lot of bikes, especially the Japanese bikes, off-road ones, do not come with stuff like hard guards, crash guards, windshields. These are things that we add as added accessories, aftermarket. Especially when it comes to the plastic hard guards. They come in handy because if you have an experience with flying rocks on the highway, you can tell they come in handy. Look at this. This bike has pretty nice headlights. Look at it. They are very, very bright. Very, very bright headlights. And again, these lights are only working as long as the engine is working. They are working as long as the engine is working. You put the bike on ignition on, before you crank the engine, the lights are not working. They only work when the engine is working, meaning you don't have chances of draining your battery because the lights were on and the engine was off. Again, there is something I want you to see. You put the engine off, the lights take a few seconds before they go off. Some nice stuff. Let's say we have like turbo timer of headlights. Yeah, a turbo timer of headlights. You see, you shut the engine off, the lights are still on, then they go off. Did you see that? These guys know something that we don't. The lights don't just go off immediately when the engine goes off. They take a couple of seconds and then they go off. And they are so bright. You don't even need auxiliary lights on this bike. You don't need. See? They take a second, then they go off. Very nice stuff. Very, very nice stuff. This bike also comes with radiators. It is liquid cooled 300cc EFI. And not only radiators, it has two radiators. Two radiators. This is something we see in most Japanese bikes. Yeah, including my Honda Transalp. It has this small radiator on the right side, small radiator on the left side. And those radiators are coming with radiator guards, lock guards. You see, there is that mesh, or you see that one? There is that mesh that is in front of the radiator to protect it from locks. As I told you, if you are riding in some group of off-road bikes, there is a tendency of flying rocks, hitting your bikes everywhere. You see, the right hand side radiator has the filler cap, the other one doesn't have. Yeah, some nice stuff. It's not bulky, it's not huge. Nice. Look at the dashboard. Something I like about this dashboard is it is a small TFT. When I say small, someone may ask, how does small make it impressive? It is impressive because this is an off-road bike. And you don't want huge grass stuff that has a risk of cracking if you drop your bike by mistake when you are riding off-road. We have other bikes with very, very huge TFT dashboards, and chances of that dashboard breaking are so high. Very small impact that dashboard is broken, but for this one, it's a small one. It's a very beautiful bike. Look at this. The exhaust is high up, hanging so high up that even if you want to cross rivers, you don't have chances of your bike sucking water. Remember, we have very high ground clearance. We have 18-inch rear wheel, 21-inch front wheel, and also a high up hanging exhaust pipe. Meaning you can cross rivers, you can ride through swamps, whatever you want. This bike doesn't have chances of sucking water. There is a small exhaust guard. This is supposed to guard your feet from touching the exhaust, so it is also part of your safety. Look at that one. The swing arm and the exhaust have a very huge gap. So even if you hit a bump, hit a lock, you jump over some ramp off-road, you don't have chances of your exhaust hitting the swing arm. Listen to that exhaust sound. Very, very basic, very simple single cylinder exhaust sound. That exhaust note is just very basic for a 300cc single cylinder. But I want you to listen to the idling. That bike is so stable. The idling is so stable. Meaning the EFI system is quite responsive. The idling is so stable. So stable. Remember, this is a cold start. This bike is in a showroom. It hasn't been started in a couple of hours or maybe a day or two, but you just crank it, it goes on, and the idling is so stable. It is a beautiful bike, a slim bike. Look at this, my hand, you see, a very slim bike. This is how a proper off-road motorcycle should be. Remember, this is not an adventure highway motorcycle. This is an off-road bike. An off-road bike. It has to be slim, it has to be light, it has to be tall, it has to be nimble, and it has to be guarded. In case you drop it, you don't have to break a lot of stuff. It has to be guarded. A very beautiful motorcycle. These are things that I love about this bike. It reminds me of Honda CRF 300L. looks like almost this bike. Thank you so much for watching the video up to this point. There is so much I have done about this bike, so if you want to know more about its details, the specifications, the engine, the horsepower, whatever it is you want to know, I have done other videos about this motorcycle, the VOGE Rally 300. You can check down my channel. There is so much I have done about it. Thank you so much and see you around. If you want to know more about how you can purchase this motorcycle, contact Nairobi Power Bikes. I am going to attach the numbers there so that if you have any question about purchasing the bike, you can contact the dealer directly. Thank you so much and see you around. God be with you. God keep you. We meet again next time, same place. Two Wheels Paradise. My name is Meshak. God bless you.